But even viruses could be changed because we are talking about colossal exposures, biblical, astronomical exposures. And I just before this call, I wrote to a lady in Europe and pointed out to her that only the third generation, 3D, is allowed to expose you at exposure level, which is 10 up to the power of 18, which even for scientists is such a colossal number, it's hard to even believe, but it is true. And compared to the natural background into which we were born and we are supposed to function and live in. And for other exposures, they are even bigger numbers than that. Well, I say again, as my colleague in the Department of Immunology, do we really know what we are subjecting each other to? So that's an important question. And therefore, when you mention mold, ticks, and so on, it resonates very well with me, yes.
I think what you are saying, and this has been the penny that dropped for me personally, we know that toxicity is at the center of electrohypersensitivity. It's always associated with some form of toxicity, and that's why you brought in the mercury amalgams, because that is a metal toxicity issue. If it is mold, it's a mycotoxin toxicity issue, and so forth. And so we carry on. So, and you mentioned things like glyphosate, pesticides. It's all got to do with toxicity. And what I find extremely interesting, I listened to an interview, I can't remember who the gentleman was, but he explained that because mold is are microbes, they get affected by EMF. And you saying one thing now, the one thing is your immune system is affected by EMF, and we know that it compromises your immune system. But in addition to that, these living organisms in our bodies or microbes are affected by EMF because we are bioelectrical beings. And they've actually done studies where they looked at the growth of mold in Faraday cages and then exposed to EMF, and how it differs and how it quantifies and creates massive toxicity when it's in an EMF environment. So these things are just absolutely fascinating. And I think the penny that dropped for me was the moment you've got any form of toxicity, it worsens electrohypersensitivity symptoms. So when I work with my clients now, I go to great lengths to try and understand what toxicity they're exposed to.